how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8 of them that we can see here today. These are only 8 of what were many more. I think 2 have been more recently, since World War II and later, have been put up by some regiments. This whole landscape that looks just back to like an agricultural landscape today would have looked very, very different during the First World War. Certainly by the end of the First World War, as I said to the girls, there would have been around 20 badges on this hillside. We've only got about 8 that you can see today. So it would have been littered with all these commemorative badges, and there would have been people from all over Britain, and of course the Commonwealth troops as well, that would have been established here in these camps. So hopefully they'll be able to learn more, see some images, and really bring it to life, the whole project of how the time during the First World War really transformed this local area.
I am just really struck by what it must have taken those men to make them. It must be one of the steepest chalk hill sites.
It's really hard for people to come up the silver short because it's quite steep and slippery.
First World War, you know, we haven't got the same advancement in technology as certainly the Second World War. So I think, you know, pretty much the hard labour and slog would have been pretty similar to probably the hard slog building the Iron Age hill fort.
It's really hard to sort of make them out when you're sort of just like, yeah, looking up at them. If you're right down there, you can see them really clearly. I thought it was quite different than other ones that I've seen before, because I thought it was going to be just like one whole thing, not loads of different little things.
The highlight for me is probably getting to the top of the hill and then seeing all the views, and then realising that you couldn't actually see the badges at all from up there.
I probably like climbing to the top and like looking at the views, because I find the view looks quite good from right at the top of the hill. I think that it would be quite a sort of good like history trip to do, so that you can learn all about it and actually come and see them.
If they used shells or something, you see there's a dip there. My favourite bit was the badges and seeing how different they looked closer up, and the detail, and trying to figure out how they actually did it and how they would have known that they're getting it right. If they had someone at the bottom of the hill telling them that it looks good, or if they marked out with like bright colour or something first and then did it with the stones, because the edges of it were really neat, and they dug a bit out and then filled it in with stones, kind of like the poppies like Remembrance thing. That's something that's always going to be there.
So apparently J.R.R. Tolkien was demobilised here, and when you read Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, I always think the Barrow Downs, well, that's got to be Wiltshire. He must have been inspired by this landscape and this area of the country.
It's probably not the best idea to come up here on a windy day, but if it's kind of been sunny and not particularly windy, that's probably fine. But if you're fine with mud, then it's still fine.
It's important, and it should be, that the history and the archaeology is here for people of this country and people who come from abroad to admire it as well. So I think it's essential that, you know, certainly the new generations realise that we all have a part to play in learning and looking after our heritage.